That's great.
Anyway, there's a fishing story.
Oh, that's
for
a
you,
good one. Okay, I think I've got favorite musical artist is one of my questions.
Right?
Who would be at the top of your list there?
Willie Nelson.
I'm glad you said Willie,
Willie Nelson.
because somewhere in my memory bank, I have a recollection of you meeting Willie one time.
First time I met Willie. I met Willie a few times.
And he knew who you were,
Yes.
and you didn't quite know who he was? Is that how that went?
Well, I didn't really look at him long enough to recognize who he was.
All right, I told you, story time's great with Randy.
This was my rookie year, and we had just played the Super Bowl down in Miami, and we lost to the Steelers. So after we go out to get on the bus, Burton Lawless, who was my roommate, and I, and the buses were full, so they said, go ride in the police escort car. I said, okay. So we walk up there, and I see this guy sitting in the back seat with long hair and a beard. And
What, had he been arrested?
no, he was getting a ride, too.
Police cars and Willie.
Yeah. So
Maybe not a good combination.
I don't know. But, I never looked. I just sat in the front seat and just sat and was looking straight ahead and just we're riding down the road, and this guy taps me on the shoulder. He goes, hey, Randy. He says, I'm Willie Nelson. He says, I'm a big fan of yours. And I go, God, gee, Randy, right? I go, big fan of mine. I said, I'm a big fan of yours, because Bob Brunick used to play the guitar. And, we sang all Willie's songs. That's what we used to do. We'd go home after practice, sit around and, sing them songs and stuff.
Sing Blue Eyes and stuff.
Yeah, so anyway, that night at the party, it was really a lousy party starting off because we lost and
Everybody
everybody
pissed off.
Yeah, everybody's down and Jimmy Buffett gets up and he starts singing a song. He goes, "Barmaid, bring a pitcher."
He was there?
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett,
Okay.
Waylon, Willie, Jared Jeff, they were
Oh,
all
my
there.
gosh.
And the highlight, one of my memories of the first Super Bowl was I got up on stage with Bob Brunick and I and sang Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mother with Willie, Waylon, Jimmy Buffett, and that whole crew.
Aren't you glad YouTube wasn't around then?
Oh, I'm glad you two wasn't around. I'm more glad because when we came back, Willie had a place down on Greenville Avenue right there at Greenville and Lovers called Willie Nelson's Whiskey River.
Yeah, okay. I remember that place.
So we continued that party from Miami
All the
back
way back
to Dallas, and he closed that place down. It was just cowboy players and friends came in there, and all the David Allen Cole, Boxcar Willie, they were all in there.
Wow,
And,
that's totally cool.
It was quite a night. But at the end of the night, everybody was dancing on the tables, and the public was in there. It was, you'd have thought we won that game.
Funny how 12 hours will do that.
Yeah, 12
Or
hours.
24 hours
Yeah.
will make you forget about some of those things.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, I got through 4 of mine because I've got a couple others that I want to ask you.
Okay.
That are. I'll set this one up this way. Devin Hester of the Bears had a rather embarrassing moment last night in the Sunday night game. Did you guys see what happened to Devin Hester?
I watched the game, but I didn't.
A full-born tackle from behind where his pants came all the way down.
I missed that. I was watching the game, too.
And I'll tease that by saying I understand there's a similar story about you and Dutton that involves a snake, a rattlesnake or something. Okay, so think about that, and then we'll come back and see if you remember that story. Randy White, ladies and gentlemen, on the All-Pro Show from the Cadillac. He remembers the Cadillac stage, brought to you by Bud Light. We're back with more with Randy right after this.
And welcome back to the All-Pro Show here at Love and War in Grapevine. Love and War in Texas in Grapevine. We're on the east side of the Grapevine Mills Mall here until 8 o'clock tonight, talking Cowboys with Randy White and talking hockey, winter hockey, with our man Dwight Mullins, head coach of the Allen Americans. You've had an interest in DFW hockey for a long time. You were drafted, let's remind the folks, you were drafted in 1985 by the Stars. Right. You played with the Fort Worth Fire, right, 94 through 97. Then you coach, an assistant coach with the Fort Worth Brahmas, now the Texas Brahmas. Right. And then you played, or you coached with the Texas Tornadoes, now coaching with the Allen Americans. So you've been here a long time.
You know, I've really seen the growth of hockey come, and actually my second year here in Dallas was the second year the Stars were here. They've done a fantastic job helping to support youth sports and in our sport, and I've really seen an explosion in hockey.
Now let's talk about the record, not the record, but your road record right now. You've been on the road, was it 7 games in 11 days or something like that in 2 weeks? It seems like you've been on the road forever, but now you're back in Allen at the Allen Event Center. Talk about how exciting it is to play for this new venue.
Well, I think we're really excited. Obviously, we're an expansion team. We're in 3rd place overall at this point of the season, and we're very excited about that. We had some outstanding performances by a few of our young players and that have helped us get off to that great start. So we're excited to be in Allen. It's a beautiful building, and again, I encourage everybody to come on out.
Talk about some of those players and how you keep them motivated on the road like that for a long stretch like that to begin the inaugural season.
Well, a lot of these players are new to the Central Hockey League, so every experience is kind of a new experience. So there's not a lot of motivation there that really required. You know, our schedule is tough, so I understand the the wear and tear that they go through. So we try to adjust accordingly. But for the most part, it's a new experience. Everybody's pretty excited.
We had your minority owner and president, Steve Duchesne, here a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about talking to the Texas Brahmas and as far as what they've done all these years over in Fort Worth. Then they moved to North Richland Hills, and the blood, sweat, and tears of getting a cup finally, and Andy Moog, former Stars goalie. And talk about, have you talked to anyone over there sort of in the same situation, the coaches over there?
Well, I think that, having Steve part of our organization really has a lot of perspective on what it takes to be a champion. And, we have some other people in our organization that have won a lot along the way that help give us kind of direction. And, it takes a lot of hard work. There's no doubt about it. But I really think we've got a great group. We have a great organization from our ownership on down to the people that work in the front office. And, again, it's a real exciting time for us.
Well, speaking of being exciting, what do fans, or what should they expect when they come out to a game? Tons of venues in North Texas for families to spend their money on. Yeah. Here comes the holidays. The kids are going to be out for a few days, few weeks. So what should families expect when they come to the Allen Event Center?
Our facility is really unique. It's right in the middle of a retail, shopping, and restaurant district, so you can come in the afternoon, bring your family. It's free parking. Tickets are priced accordingly. We've put together a fast, exciting hockey team that doesn't mind getting their nose dirty a little bit. I think we had 3 big-time fights in about 5 seconds there the other night. So we got a little bit for everybody. It's real entertaining. These guys work real hard, and we've got a great place to sit. There's no bad seat in the house.
You and your wife and daughter live in Lantana. Real fast, you're from Alberta, so the weather, especially in November, it's usually real cold by now, but are you adjusting to the weather here?
Well, I'm kind of like Randy. I can't wait to call myself a Texan, so I'm hoping to stay here long enough to be able to do that.
Dwight Mullins, he's head coach of the Allen Americans. You can check him out real fast. Give us the website.
www.americanshockey.com.
For season tickets, there they go. Coming up next, more Cowboys talk with Randy White and our buddy Wally Lynn up next here on the All Pro Show.
Give it up for Hall of Famer Randy White, ladies and gentlemen. Our All-Pro guest this week on the Cadillac stage. Always a pleasure to have Randy along. We want to thank our VIPs who make this show go. Our good friends at Bud Light and Benny Keith. And, of course, Cadillac. Jim and Hetty Borst and Gene and Betty Griffith are here tonight from Cowboys Corral, sitting over here somewhere. Hi, guys. Also, Big Daddy's Republic Beverage. Our good friends from Tops, Panini Trading Cards, and also from Facebook. There's a new site on Facebook that's called, if you Google in or Facebook in, 1 Million Dallas Cowboys Fans. It's the largest group on Facebook, and they are trying to get to 1 million members of that site. So thanks to all of them for coming out tonight. And thanks to my friend Cash Birdwell, who's sitting down here. Longtime SMU Mustangs trainer, also works with the Dallas Mavericks. Give it up for Cash. Just because he's a dear friend. Good to see you, Cash. Randy White is with us. And before we get to our Cadillac question of the night, now you've had time to ponder the story that I wanted you to tell. Clean it up if you can. You have to. Because, again, Devin Hester showed us, was tackled from behind last night, and we got a full shot of the moon last evening. And so, in an odd way, it made me think of another Randy White story that you told me one time. about a trip with John Dutton, hunting, fishing. What were you doing?